All right, everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. Here is the building I made, and I do need to touch that block up down there. I just realized I can do that with black paint. So I spray painted it black and then with primer red, and then I sprinkled it and spritzed it with some metallic, and I hit it in some spots a little better than others, just to create a kind of unreal feeling here. So I had talked about adding a mushroom farm, and really, mushroom farms should be little extra pieces that you can just add to anything. So I think I'm going to not add one to this building and just have little tokens of mushroom farms you can place around. Because really people aren't allowed to be growing mushrooms, but they do anyways because, otherwise they're eating paste made out of mushrooms, fungus, and moss, and lichen, and discarded humans. So let's start by painting this thing up. So I'm going to get a piece of cardboard here. And the first thing I'm going to get is a reddish brown, a crappy brush, and some of my dirty water. And if you make this wet enough, the metallic kind of shows through where you need it to a little bit. You don't want to go overboard, maybe you do. Okay. Now I'm going to get a rusty color, and I happen to have metallic brown paint, which works really well for this kind of stuff. And I'm going to get some water in that and mix it with that rusty brown. Kind of go in some of the similar spots and around those spots and add some different corrosion. And then over here on this side, where I had that very metallic amount, I'm going to do a lot of rust on that and have very little of that very shiny showing. But since this is semi-translucent, because of how watered down it is, you'll get some varied results with that. So another thing we need to do is we need to get some green and show the moss that grows everywhere. So I'm going to use this English ivy green. It's pretty wet. And I'm going to focus on cracks and in the sides with it. And I'm going to do irregular shapes so it doesn't look like straight lines. And I am going to intersect and mix it with some of the rusty stuff too. Now, these people want their houses to look nice as much as they do, probably. But this might be a gang headquarters or something. So I don't want to do too much interior paint fancy shit. I just want to kind of leave it alone. So I'm going to get some more brown and mix it with that green a little bit and a little bit of that metallic. I'm going to come in here and touch that door in the back, on the inside. And then let me find a piece of t-shirt or something. This is a piece of a t-shirt that's been discarded. We're going to throw that back in here on the floor as kind of a decoration. And then we're just going to get super glue and soak it in there. So that it sticks. And I'm just going to use the back of an old paintbrush to push that around and get that stuck into place. And that'll be permanent. You could do a lot more color-wise on this, I think, and a dry brush of silver in some spots might be helpful. I'll get a little bit of silver and hit some of these rivets just to make those stick out. And maybe I'll do some of the edge work like it got scraped. I'm just going to use a really cheapy brush. And hit rivets with some silver. I'm not painting the entire rivet. I'm just catching it so you can see there's a rivet there. That's all I'm doing. And then I'm going to do these ladder rungs because they're just a little too clean and metallic. I'm going to mix a little bit of that crap in there and do it again. Over just some of the wrong parts. Okay, I'm pretty happy with my project here. And different degrees and brightnesses of paint can do different things. In my moss, though, I do want something a little different color in some spots. So what I'm going to do is real quick, before I finish here, is I'm going to look for a darker green, which I know I have a darker green. Do I know where it is? No. I don't know. I can't find it. I had a pine green that was really dark. I'm just going to use some of this Christmas green. Maybe. There we go. I'm going to get my brush pretty damp. I'm going to grab some of that. I'm just going to get it around in there and create some different color. And last, but definitely not least, we poke some of those paint holes out. Or not paint holes, but the holes in the grid that paint has filled. Then we have our spill down here in the corner coming out of that pipe right here. And I want to do that in black metallic. And now that I'm thinking about it, this would be a really good headquarters for the Fass punks, a gang who torments the city and the people therein. On the surface, without guns, they're fighting people and stuff and doing stuff up there and tormenting individuals. And then down here in the Undercity, they're outright shooting and killing people when they can get away with it. The fast punks are not good guys. They're not your friend. But they do think they're very fast, and they are punks. And that's going to make it look oily and grimy. And the last thing we can do that I think would really step this up a notch is to get some black paint and some water. I'm looking for a black paint. Where'd I put it? Oh, it's over here. Get some black paint. Water. And grime up everything. That looks like it could use it. Floor panels are important. We want to make sure we get those cracks in the floor and darken those up. Darken up the rug a little bit. And there's no certain amount of right or wrong, but you will find a point where you might be going too far. You'll notice it. Okay. I do need to come down here and finish that block on the bottom that I didn't paint. So I'm just going to get a little bit of black paint. That same brush. And I don't care how perfect it is. I'm just going to paint that black so it's not tan. The best I can real quick. I'm not putting an enormous amount of perfection into it. Just making it the right color. Or a dark color. Not even the right color. Okay. And that, my friends, will be the Fast Punk headquarters. Hey, I'm going to zoom out here. If you like what I'm doing here on the channel, help me out here. Do me a solid. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, and all the happy crappy that makes the algorithmos leaders like us. That stuff matters. It matters to some degree. Also, check out the website, www.dungeonswag.com, and the Discord. Those will be linked in the description down below, as well as, if you're interested, there's a discount code down there to save you 25% off your first month of Dungeon Swag miniatures. And that's on the house. So, you're welcome if you use it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.